Although the 425th Airborne Brigade Combat Team is a young brigade, its legacy is a rich heritage of fierce fighting, dutiful soldiers, and combat effectiveness in the harshest of circumstances. Created in 2004, the Spartan Brigade was established as the 4th Brigade under the lineage of the 25th Infantry Division and was the first new U.S. airborne unit created since the end of World War II. Today's Spartan soldier shares a legacy with thousands of 25th Infantry Division soldiers that began over 70 years ago. The 25th Infantry Division was activated at Schofield Barracks on October 1, 1941. Only 2 months later, on December 7, 1941, the 25th Infantry Division and its sister division, the 24th Infantry Division, had the distinction of being the first U.S. Army divisions to see combat in World War II. The 25th, operating as part of the 14th Corps, commenced offensive operations against the Japanese on January 7, 1943. In less than a month, the 25th Division wiped out the Japanese who were dug in on Mount Austin and enveloped the jungle to cut off retreating Japanese forces. The operations of the 25th Division on Guadalcanal were impressive, earning the division the nickname Tropic Lightning. When the war was over, the 25th was credited with participation in 4 campaigns of the Asiatic Pacific Theater: Central Pacific, Guadalcanal, Northern Solomons, and Luzon. 6 Tropic Lightning soldiers were awarded the Medal of Honor. On June 25, 1950, open warfare once again flared in Asia when the North Korean People's Army crossed the 38th parallel. Acting under United Nations orders, the Tropic Lightning Division moved from its base in Japan to Korea in July 1950. Under the command of Major General William B. Keane, the division successfully completed its first mission by blocking the approaches to the port city Pusan. 14 division soldiers were awarded Medals of Honor, making the division one of the most decorated of that war. In early 1963, in response to a request from the U.S. Military Assistance Command in Vietnam, the division sent 100 helicopter door gunners to the Republic of Vietnam. By August 1965, further division involvement in the coming Vietnam conflict included the deployment of Company C, 65th Engineer Battalion, to South Vietnam, and by mid-1965, 2,200 men of the Tropic Lightning Division were involved in Vietnam. Another request resulted in the division deploying 4,000 3rd Brigade infantrymen and 9,000 tons of equipment from Hawaii in 25 days to the northwest sector of South Vietnam to firmly establish a fortified enclave from which the division could operate. Operation Blue Light was the largest and longest airlift of personnel and cargo into a combat zone in military history, only surpassed by Operation Desert Shield decades later. The division was heavily engaged from April 1966 until 1972 throughout the area of operations in Southeast Asia. During this period, Tropic Lightning soldiers fought in some of the toughest battles of the war. During the Tet offensives of 1968 and 69, Tropic Lightning soldiers were instrumental in defending the besieged city of Saigon. The Medal of Honor was awarded to 21 Tropic Lightning soldiers. Not many of Tropic Lightning's units participated in Operation Desert Storm due to the division being earmarked for Pacific contingencies, such as a renewal of hostilities in Korea. During the Gulf War, however, 1 platoon each from Companies Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, 4th Battalion, 27th Infantry Wolfhounds, deployed to Saudi Arabia in January 1991. In 2004, the U.S. Army announced the Army Modernization Plan, intended to restructure the Army by creating new modular brigade combat teams. On July 14, 2005, the 4th Brigade was officially constituted at the athletic fields of Buckner Fieldhouse, with Colonel Michael X. Garrett becoming the 1st Brigade commander. At the ceremony, he officially christened the Spartan Brigade with the new motto, "Sparta Lives." In late September and early October, the brigade deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom 5. Over 15 months of combat and civil operations resulted in improvement of the security situation during a period that coincided with the Iraq Surge and Sons of Iraq movement. Under Multinational Division Central, the brigade took part in several major operations including Black Eagle, Gecko, Geronimo Strike 3, Marne Avalanche, Marne Torch, LaGuardia, and Washing Machine. During the 15-month deployment, the brigade lost 53 soldiers. With the brigade already identified for deployment to Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom 9 and 10, Colonel Howard led a rapid train-up, including a month-long rotation at the National Training Center in October and November of 2008. In February 2009, just 14 months after returning from its 15-month deployment to Iraq, the brigade, known as Task Force Yukon, deployed to eastern Afghanistan with about 5,500 personnel. The brigade conducted counterinsurgency operations for 12 months in partnership with Afghan National Security Forces and supervised governance, development, and agriculture projects in coordination with the Afghan government. 13 brigade soldiers were killed in action during the deployment. In the fall of 2011, elements of Task Force Spartan began deploying to Afghanistan. Task Force Spartan was assigned to the highly kinetic Khost and Paktia provinces and was comprised of 8 battalion-sized task forces, geographically dispersed over 21 combat outposts and 3 forward operating bases. Over the course of the 10-month deployment, the task force made great strides in securing the region, training the Afghan forces, and slowly handing over the future of Afghanistan to the people who live there. More than 10 soldiers made the ultimate sacrifice for their country and fellow soldiers in AO Spartan. Many more were wounded, and all made the sacrifice of time away from family and the comforts of home. Task Force Spartan has truly answered their nation's call to duty and continued the heroic legacy of its division into the 21st century. Sparta lives.